Good evening and welcome in. Thank you for joining us on this educational seminar. A little about me. My name is Selena Pollard. I have been a licensed realtor since 1993. I have enjoyed serving all segments of the population, from first-time buyers right to downsizers, or as I like to call, right-sizers. And this is what the focus today is going to be on. Today's topic is, what is a retirement coach? And do I need one? And my guest today is Jennifer Rovet. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Jennifer is a certified professional retirement coach and the owner of Retire Ready Canada. For many years, Jennifer has been working with people by providing one-on-one and couples coaching sessions as they transition to retirement, or who are recently retired and may be struggling with what to do once their traditional work ends. She has been published in the Globe and Mail, Zoomer Magazine, and is an executive contributor for Brainz Magazine. So our chat today is going to be regarding retirement coaching, and it will touch on what it actually is, how it could impact your life and well-being, and of course, explore how the process looks from the onset to the outcome. Jennifer also, by the way, has been a major contributor to our Rightsizing REMEDIES Facebook group, which is a group of professionals whose specific focus is for those who are looking to or nearly at the point of downsizing, or once again, as I like to say, rightsizing. So if you'd like to join this extremely informed Facebook group, you can find us by searching Rightsizing REMEDIES on Facebook, and we are happy to have you join. So once again, welcome, Jen, to the segment. Thank you for agreeing to join us today and telling us about retirement coaching. You know, when I first was introduced to you, I was so curious because I had never, ever heard of a retirement coach. A number of people that I chat with, they also have never heard of a retirement coach. So I think that this segment is going to be extremely educational, and we want to get the word out there of this particular segment. So what is a retirement coach?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Selena. I'm thrilled to be here. And yeah, a lot of people don't really know what a retirement coach is. And, you know, there's a coach for everything. You know, if there's like a life coach, there's a divorce coach, there's a movement coach, everything. So a retirement coach is no different. All that I do, or retirement coaches do, is work with clients who need some help. They need some assistance and some guidance in this time of their life. And what it is just, there's a lot of discussions, there's a lot of questions asked. And for me, it's just allowing my clients to have a space where they can just open up and explore what it is that's important to them, what are their values and their priorities, and what is it that they want to do with their life in this next stage once their traditional work comes to an end.
Right. What I did not cover, and I'm going to have you speak on it, is what are your qualifications in this arena, and how long have you been doing this?
So apart from my bachelor's degree in human resources, I am a certified professional coach. I got my designation through the Retirement Project, which is based in the United States. It's part of the Retirement Coaches Association, which is, I believe, is the only association. It's a growing association, and it was founded by this wonderful man, Robert Laura. And he really is the pioneer of retirement coaches. And this program just takes us through different, it uses positive psychology, it goes back to Maslow. It really just focuses on, you know, the importance of psychology in retirement coaching. And so, yeah, so I got my designation from there. And I have been doing this for just over 4 years now. I started in 2019.
Okay. All right. So another question I had is, so you mentioned struggles. So can you give me an idea on what when somebody comes to you, what is it that their initial conversation looks like? Like, what are they saying to you? What are they struggling with? If you could sort of give me examples of that.
Yeah, so a lot of people come to me and say, I'm thinking about retirement. I'm not really sure what I want to do. I have one client who said, I have no idea what I want to do. Others know they're going to be retiring, and again, just not quite sure what that's going to look like for them. Yeah, and I just...
So there's a little bit of fear attached to it then, would you say?
What do you mean fair?
A little bit of fear, F-E-A-R, a little bit of like they're concerned about what does life look like after that.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. Like they're anxious, they're scared, it's the unknown, right? It's change.
Yeah, for sure.
And not everybody handles change very well. And so with the coaching, it's just, just allowing them to have that space to figure it out and talk about it. A lot of people don't have somebody to talk to about this.
Right.
Some people can't talk to their spouse, and so, or their children or whatever.
And some people don't have spouses.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just another, a coach is someone that they can talk to and get things, explore things. And through my process, I really get people to think about things that maybe they haven't thought of before. And yeah.
Right. Welcome in. So tell me, how would using a coach impact your life?
So there's one thing that I really hate hearing, and well, I shouldn't say hate, that's a strong word. It makes me sad. It makes me really sad when I hear people, like I've had a few clients tell me, oh, I know somebody, or I have a brother who's retired and they're not doing anything and they're unhappy and they spend their whole day in bed, and that makes me sad. It's like,
yeah, for sure,
because this is another stage of your life, and it really should be a good time for you. And you've worked hard your whole life to build your identity, maybe raised a family, worked in a job or career that you love, you've had accomplishments, social interaction, goals. And so that's great. And we've done that our whole lives until a certain time when you want to maybe no longer do that anymore. So if you are struggling at this and figuring out what to do in this next stage, this is where a retirement coach can really help you. And it's just, as I said, coaching is a process, and it's not easy for everybody to figure this out. Like, some people are great at it, and but other people, perhaps it doesn't come so easy. So this is where a coach can really help guide.
Coach can coach them out of, sort of being kind of docile about it. And as you said, exploration. I think that's the important, important piece, right?
Yeah, it's a self-exploration. I keep saying this. It's like a deep dive into your life and what it is that really matters to you. And that's the key. And that's going to drive what you want to do. That will help you create this new identity. It'll give you purpose. And it can be anything. Like, retirement doesn't have to be super complicated. It's just what matters to you, and go from there.
So that's a good segue to the next question. So what does the process look like from beginning to end?
So my process begins with a call. I'm happy to talk with anybody who has questions for me or just wants to learn more. So I schedule that first call with people. And that can last anywhere from half an hour. I spoke with one person for over an hour. It was it was great. And it's a chance for me to learn more about them and their situation, where they're at, what's going on in their lives. And it's a chance for them to learn a little bit more about me and my services and what I can offer to them. So if they choose to work with me, we figure out how many sessions that they'd like. And I'll talk about that in a bit. And then, using Zoom, I schedule the calls. I wish it could be more in person with people. Before the pandemic, I was going out to clients' homes
Right.
but unfortunately,
People
not
are a little
everybody's.
skittish still, and
Yeah,
especially with that age bracket as well, I would imagine, right?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
But you know what? The great thing about Zoom, it's allowed me to expand my client base across the whole country, even into the United States.
That was one of my questions. I was going to ask you, now that you can do this on Zoom, so you kind of service internationally as well. So that's
Sure,
the answer to that.
absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but they have to speak English if they're.
Yes, right. Okay, makes sense.
My Spanish and French isn't so good, but so so we figure out how many sessions that they'd like to have.
And what is typical? What is the typical amount of sessions?
I'd say six. Six
Okay.
seems to be the real sweet spot with people because it takes a few sessions to really get into the meaty stuff with people and figuring things out, and for them to just like get the wheels turning and thinking about things. And then 3 sessions onwards up to 6 is just sort of like putting it all together.
Right.
3 sessions is good if people kind of have an idea, like they just kind of want more validation with their thinking, their plan. And then so 3, we can sort of jump right in. We talk about like what they've got planned, what everything that involves their retirement plan, and then 3 wrapping it up. So
got it.
Yeah, so 6 is good.
Okay.
And then with my clients, I use various tools to help guide our sessions. So I use assessments and questionnaires. And this really helps just start the process of thinking about what it is, what's important to them, like what are their values. And I really focus on health. So that's so important. Social. We have to stay social because isolation is a huge problem with our elderly, and just being alone that causes many problems. The mental, staying mentally and physically engaged, and even the spiritual side of retirement. So we touch on various different topics through those tools that I provide to my clients, and then it's just discussion. A lot of the time it's just my clients are talking.
Right.
And I remember
and then you guide them kind of thing, as you said, through your assessments and tools and such.
Yeah. I remember I had one client and I really didn't say much. He just kept talking and talking and talking. And it was just more having me there to validate what she was saying. And like, I keep in touch with her. She's having a great time. And
that's really good. So back to what you had said right at the beginning, it's really, if you just think it's like a retirement therapist almost, right? It's somebody who is there to sort of guide you. And as you said, like you have coaches in all these different aspects of, physical coach and mental coach and business coach and things like that. So it's another element of that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And retirement coaching goes nicely with life coaches. That's an area that life coaches are starting to get into. And then even financial advisors are using this part of coaching, like the non-financial part of coaching. They're incorporating that into their businesses, which is really cool. That's a big trend that's happening.
Right. Okay. Very good. I personally think it's much needed. I mean, I'm not a 9-to-5-er. I've been doing this for 30 years. I don't know what retirement is going to look. I can't see myself fully retiring. Do you know what I mean? Because I can easily do this part-time, but I could definitely see tremendous value to somebody who's worked with an organization 9 to 5 for a number of years. I mean, that almost becomes your identity in a way.
For sure.
And
Absolutely.
now you have to create another identity. And a lot of people think it's, I'm just going to go off and do whatever. And then within 2 weeks, they're like bored to tears kind of thing. I just met a lady the other day, same thing. She sold her company and she thought, okay, we're going to ride off into the sunset. And she literally just started another job this week, working for somebody else, because just staying at home and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely see the value. So how does your fee structure look? How does that look?
Yeah, so I created 3 packages.
Okay.
So I broke it down into 3, 6, and 10 sessions per package.
Got it.
Then the fee is associated with each package.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And,
And
I'm pretty flexible too. Like if somebody wants one, that's fine.
yes,
Because I have an hourly rate. And then, so again, with my packages, the idea is like, if you buy more packages or more sessions, you save money. So
less per session for sure. Okay. All
yeah.
right. That makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, as I
Yeah.
said, I'm pretty flexible. I'm not like, it's not set in stone, 3, 6, or
Hard
10.
and fast, right?
It can be 4, it can be 9, whatever people
Sure.
want.
Sure.
And
And
I'll work
it's,
something
it
out.
has to be customized, I guess, because not everybody is the same, right? As
Yeah.
you know, somebody may come and they may just need to have one conversation where they just bounce a bunch of stuff off of you. Okay, got it, got it.
Yeah.
So I'd love to ask you if you could share with us maybe one of your success stories, like how that person came to you, what was their mindset, what were they struggling with, and then sort of then where they ended up.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about some of my past clients, and I think what I'm going to share with you is a success for him, and it was also a success for me.
Okay.
So this was my very first client.
Okay.
And he found me through Twitter. Because
Okay.
I do
Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. I do a lot of social media posts on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook.
Right.
I dabbled in YouTube. I got a few videos up there, but I gave up on it. It was too
Not your thing. Okay.
So he contacted me he messaged me. I forget how. I guess he messaged me, and it took me a couple months. Like I was really stewarding him because he was my first, and I was like all over it. I'm like, oh my God, a client. I was so excited. And he was busy. He contacted me in the summer, and then he was traveling and blah, blah. So
was
anyway,
he yet retired or just looking at retirement? He was not yet retired. Okay.
He had, so we went back and forth a lot for months. And finally he's like, okay. He goes, yeah, I'll work with you. The other interesting thing about him was he was in the United States, which I thought was cool too. It's like but anyway. So yeah, we did all the figured out the sessions, we did the intake, we did all the stuff we needed to do. And we started working together, and you have to imagine this, my first client, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, like
That's what I tell my little students, fake it till you make it.
Still faking it, and hopefully I'm making it. I don't know.
Right.
But he was really so he had a retirement date. He said, Jennifer, I'm retiring June 30th, 2020.
Okay.
So we started working in the fall, and he knew it was important to him. Like, he had money. Money wasn't the issue. He was fine with that. But, he knew what was important to him, and that was his family. His wife comes from a big Italian family. He's not Italian himself, but he's embraced his wife's family. So family, his children. He likes to travel. He likes to spend time on his boat in the summer, that kind of stuff. So he kind of had these sort of chunks, like he sort of had these ideas or things that he knew he wanted to do in his retirement. But he said to me, he's like, besides like my family and my boat, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So we worked a lot together, and he was a little challenging. Like he challenged me because I would be giving him these assessments, and he was my guinea pig, right? Like I was brand new. I was like trying different things. I gave him some assessments that I had received from the Retirement Coaches Association, which I don't use anymore. But
okay.
And he's like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this? Like, I don't want to do this. And I was like, okay.
Next.
So like I quickly had to pivot and figure out what would work for him.
Right.
So we eventually got into the groove, and he's a really cool man. And we just started talking, and through our conversations, like this is what's amazing about coaching is just things started like coming up, or he'd say something which I would pick up on, and I'd be like, well, what about that? Like you just mentioned that you love doing this, like why not incorporate that into your retirement? And he's like, huh. And it was like an aha moment for him. And he's like, I never thought about that. And I'm like, why not? Like, this sounds amazing. So anyway, so we got to a good place. Like he got to a good place. He was, by the time we got to our last session, he was feeling good about his retirement. I was pleased because I feel like I'd done a good job.
Yes.
I kept in touch with him, and then the pandemic hit, like right
Yes.
around the time he had planned to retire. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? What's happening? Like, I wanted to
Sure.
get in touch with him. And he said, like, yeah, things took a bit of a blip for him during the pandemic, as it did for a lot of people.
Sure.
Things obviously didn't go as planned. But I'm happy to say that, and I still keep in touch with him. He is on my website. He's writing blogs regularly. He's on my website. I've featured one of his blogs on my website. I featured him in one of my newsletters. Like he's doing
fantastic.
He had to push his retirement date back. I think he ended up retiring December 2020. So December 2020.
Right. So like 6 months later. Got it.
He was able to do it. He sold his house. He's moved into a smaller place with a wife. They're traveling. Like things are good now. So it all worked out for him. And
yes.
We still keep in touch. And he thanks me for the help that I provided to him. And
yes,
I'm happy because he was my first client. And I myself that I can do this.
Yes. Really, that's a great first experience.
Yeah.
For you. Scary. And by the way, just because I'm being nosy, was he aware that he was the first client?
I don't think when we were working together, he didn't realize that, but now he does.
Now he does. Right. Okay, good.
Yeah,
well, you pulled it off, Jen. You pulled it off. You pulled it off. Well, that's great. That's fantastic. So, and I'm sure there's more stories. I just wanted to sort of get a feeling on, what the person comes to you with, and then what you're able to help them navigate through. So that's really great. Listen, I want to open this up. We've got just a couple of guests here. Does anybody have a question? You can unmute yourself, or you can type it in the chat box, and Jen would be happy to answer your question. I'm also going to just check over on Facebook. I do not see any questions on Facebook. So does anybody here have any questions at all for Jen? Going once, going twice.
No.
Listen, so it's meant to be informative. I really hope that, I know that, people are going to hear this again because it's going to be on my YouTube and it's going to be on Facebook. And I really hope, and I know in my mind, I feel like I'm much more aware now, not just through this session, but obviously for our conversations. So thank you, Jennifer. Quite a bit. I thank you a lot, quite a bit, I guess. Now, I wanted to just note again that this event is part of our series of interviewing professionals that specifically cater to those who are looking to downsize and or retire. Look out for more sessions through Rightsizing Remedies, which is what we like to entitle our Facebook group. And again, I'd love to invite you to join our Facebook group. Just search Rightsizing Remedies on Facebook. And Jen, would you kindly let the audience know how they can reach out to you?
Yeah, so you can go to my website, which is retirereadycanada.com.
Okay.
And if you want to contact me, there is a form you can fill out and I will get back to you right away. Fantastic. Or, you can also check me out on my social media channels. As I said, I'm active on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You just have to search Retire Ready Canada and you'll find the business page.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Retire Ready Canada, Jennifer Rovet, she is not just a wonderful retirement coach, she's a wonderful human being. So I encourage you that if you have any questions, or if you are not sure if a retirement coach is for you, and maybe you didn't get the questions that you wanted answered here, perhaps you can get in touch with Jennifer specifically. As she's already said, she does a discovery call. I'm sure that's complimentary, just to find out whether you are a good fit for her, she's a good fit for you, because it has to work, right? So yeah, that's fantastic. Jennifer,
Sorry, I should mention too my email address. So that's the website, retirereadycanada.com, but my email address is retirereadycanada@gmail.com.
I'm going to actually put that in the chat.
Okay.
Retire Ready Canada. Retire gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the chat. Hold on. I'm just going to send it here. And then I'm also going to just put it in the Facebook chat, just in the event. There we go. Facebook chat. It's in there. All right, perfect. Well, listen, thank you to our guests for joining us this evening. We appreciate your time. We know you could be doing a bunch of other stuff, but here you are listening and hopefully learning and taking something away. Feel free to share this recording when it is posted live. Thank you for your time. Jennifer, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for
And
having
look
me.
for more sessions.
Okay.
I appreciate you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Bye, everybody.